Welcome back to Global Insight Network, where we decode the world's most dangerous geopolitical flashpoints and explain the strategies shaping our future. Today, we dive into a scenario that keeps military planners awake at night: a future conflict between Pakistan and India, two nuclear-armed neighbors with a history of rivalry, unresolved borders, and rising nationalism on both sides. But this isn't a story about tanks rolling into Kashmir or jets dogfighting over the Himalayas. This episode examines a deeper question. If war breaks out, how would Pakistan respond using modern Chinese technology? And how would India counter? This is a hypothetical, analytical exploration, not a prediction, not a wish, and certainly not an endorsement of conflict. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Why experts fear a future conflict while neither side wants war. Several trends increase the risk. 1. Kashmir remains a flashpoint. Skirmishes, ceasefire violations, and political decisions can escalate quickly. 2. Rising nationalism in the region. Both nations face domestic pressure to stand strong. 3. Military modernization on both sides. India is expanding its missile systems and air force. Pakistan is rapidly modernizing with Turkish and Chinese partnerships. 4. Miscalculation is the biggest danger. A single incident, a drone, interception, border clash, or militant attack could spiral. This is where the next war could begin, not by intention, but by accident. Chapter 2. India's hypothetical first move. If tensions escalate, analysts predict India's opening actions might involve precision missile strikes on Pakistan's border posts, standoff weapons targeting radar sites, heavy troop deployment in Rajasthan and Punjab Air Force forward bases activated. India's doctrine is cold start fast, shallow attacks, meant to punish without triggering nuclear escalation. But Pakistan has prepared for this doctrine for over a decade. Chapter 3. Pakistan's immediate strategic response. Pakistan's strategy would be air superiority plus quick disruption using a mix of 1. Chinese JF-17 Block 3 fighters primary workhorse. The latest upgrade has AESA radar, beyond visual range, BVR missiles, stealth design improvements, electronic warfare pods. The PL-15 missile, with 200 to 300 kilometers range, gives Pakistan first strike air advantage in BVR combat. This means Pakistani pilots can shoot earlier and from farther distances. 2. Chinese J-10C. Pakistan's new air dominance jet. The J-10C is Pakistan's answer to India's Rafale. It includes stealth coatings, highly advanced ASA radar, Pele-15, long-range missiles, superb maneuverability in a hot conflict. J-10CS would become Pakistan's spearhead, especially in Punjab and Kashmir sectors. 3. HQ-9B long-range air defense system. Pakistan's Chinese-built air defense shield can track 100-plus targets, engage aircraft 250 kilometers away, intercept cruise missiles. This protects major cities and military bases from India's first wave. 4. Chinese UCAV drones, Wing Lung 2, and Barak. Pakistan's drone fleet would conduct surveillance, border monitoring, precision strikes on Indian armor, anti-artillery operations. Drone warfare would be a major part of the conflict. Chapter 4. Naval dimension. The silent battle. Pakistan's navy, though small compared to India, is rapidly modernizing with China Type 039A submarines, China's quiet diesel subs, extremely silent, armed with cruise missiles, torpedoes, anti-ship systems. These subs could threaten India's western fleet and force the Indian Navy to retreat. Type 054 AP frigates. Pakistan's newest warships with long-range radar, advanced anti-air missiles, anti-submarine warfare systems. Together, they create a credible naval shield in the Arabian Sea. Chapter 5. Ground conflict. Defense, not offense. Pakistan's army would avoid deep offensive pushes. Instead, the strategy would be hold the borders, use artillery and drones to slow India, mobilize reserves behind defensive lines, deploy Chinese anti-tank missiles to prevent armored breakthroughs. This is a fortress strategy. Survive the initial shock and counterpunch later. Chapter 6. China's role. Indirect, but critical. China will not enter the war directly, but China would support Pakistan through 1. Intelligence support, satellite imagery and real-time data on Indian troop movements. 2. Spare parts and weapons, resupply fighters, drones, anti-ship missiles, electronic warfare systems. 3. Diplomatic pressure on India. China may mobilize troops near Ladakh or Arunachal Pradesh, forcing India to divide its forces. 4. Cyber warfare assistance. China is the world's strongest cyber warfare state after the US assisting Pakistan with communications protection, cyber defense, disrupting Indian networks. This changes the battlefield dramatically. Chapter 7. Why this war would be a disaster for both, even with advanced technology. A Pakistan-India war would cause massive economic collapse, disrupted global supply chains, millions displaced. International sanctions, the risk of nuclear escalation. Both nations understand this, which is why, despite decades of tension, full-scale war hasn't happened. Chapter 8. The nuclear shadow. Both nations have nuclear doctrines focused on deterrence. Pakistan's full-spectrum deterrence ensures any deep Indian thrust would risk nuclear response. India maintains credible minimum deterrence. Both sides know a nuclear exchange means mutual destruction. There is no winner, only ashes. Ending. The truth behind the conflict. A future conflict between India and Pakistan is possible, but it is not inevitable. The real battlefield today is diplomacy, surveillance, cyber warfare, drones, influence alliances, and the most powerful weapon, avoiding miscalculation. Because if communication fails, if politics overrides caution, if a single event spirals out of control, then two nuclear nations could drag an entire region into catastrophe. This is Global Insight Network, where we uncover the truth behind global power. Stay safe, stay aware, and see you in the next episode.